Hello, it's Charlotte Mackenzie and Freya from Back to Fitness Physio. Here is our little live that we do. We've only done one before, so if it all goes wrong, bear with us. But if you want to share it amongst your friends, please do. Let's spread the word of the exciting news that we've got to tell you about. So, big news is we are opening another site in Rishworth, so not too far away, which is going to be our exercise and rehab facility, so a gym basically. Where we can take our patients and really develop their strength, their conditioning, their balance, get them better after they've had surgery, all those kind of things, but also offering some classes. So Freya's going to talk to you about some Pilates classes that she's planning. I'm going to be doing hopefully some sort of menopause, perimenopause strengthening classes. We've got ideas for a walking group that we're wanting to do weekly for people who maybe they really want to go walking but they've no one to go with, or they've got some health conditions and they're worried about exercising. So that'll be a weekly thing that we do. And then lots of other things in the pipeline. We've only kind of got the green light fairly recently, so nothing's totally set in stone yet, but we thought we'd just jump on and just let you know what's coming. So start promoting it a little bit. So Mackenzie's going to talk a little bit more about his baby, which is the actual gym side of it, and then as I say, we'll move on to Freya for the Pilates bit. So tell us all about it.
Cool, thank you. So it was quite exciting when Charlotte first mentioned about getting this up and going, and it really it appeals to me because of obviously my involvement in sort of gym type work and the things that I've done previously in my career as well. I think first of all, from the point of view of the sort of younger, sportier people who are wanting to get back into more high level stuff.
Yeah.
But I think also just having that space and the equipment there to test, to challenge people of all sort of ages, all sort of ability levels. Because I think, whether you're looking to sprint 100 metres as fast as possible or run around a football pitch or rugby pitch, or whether you just want to get up and down the stairs, I think there's so much more we can do in a gym setting than what you're actually able to do with what we've got here at the moment.
That was one of the restrictions here. I mean, if you've been to the clinic, you'll know it's a cottage. It's a little cottage. We've got low ceilings, so even if you're my height, never mind Mackenzie's height, you would struggle to put anything over your head really without banging the ceiling. And we can't offer any group work or anything here. So when we had the chance to take the barn on, and it is, just for context, it is a converted barn. It's quite going to be sort of, Mackenzie will fill you in, but functional fitness and strength and conditioning stuff. So
yeah, because I think that the plan really was obviously to just make sure we had plenty of stuff, upper body stuff, lower body stuff, plans to get a track in there as well, so we can do a little bit of running, bit of gait analysis, that type of stuff. So I think what's nice is it just gives us that ability to sort of do the all-round stuff. Because I feel like at the moment we're getting to a certain point with a lot of people, or we're just getting to the point where everyone's achieving sort of the little bits and pieces, but it's those bigger steps, those next things that people need to be able to do, so that it's a more long-standing improvement that you've got as well. And I think when I first started working here, me and Charlotte talked a lot about sort of what your values, what you're trying to sort of put across with your patients, and both of us agreed that it's more that idea of, we're getting people better, but let's have them better than what they were beforehand. Let's really push people and get them so that they really feel they've achieved something. And I think the barn just offers that opportunity far more, because, as I said, you're able to test things to a higher level. You're able to sort of just put people into scenarios that are going to be far more challenging than the day-to-day stuff. So by the time you're doing your day-to-day things, that should be a breeze, that shouldn't be a problem at all.
We see it a lot, don't we? So typical patient journey for us is people come when they're, the crisis point, they've got lots of pain, and that's the primary concern, and that's what we kind of do here is the phase 1 bit, we kind of call it, which is, right, let's get your pain down, let's maybe get your movement back a little bit, let's get some swelling down, let's get you so that you're not as, 8, 9 out of 10 pain. And then we'd do the rehab and we'd sort of start that bit, but actually, to really prevent people from bouncing back with a recurrence of the same problem, we need to really get people a lot stronger than they probably were when they first came to us. And with the best will in the world, with all the tech that we've got and skills that we've got, after 6 sessions of laser or treatments or whatever we're doing, yes, your pain might be under control, but there's no way you're going to be that much stronger, because it just takes time, and we've got to progressively challenge you to be able to get that real physiological change, and we're changing muscle. So quite often we then let people go off and do their own thing for a bit, and some would and some wouldn't, and I think when it's not painful anymore, the incentive, if we're all honest, the incentive goes a little bit. So this is about trying to keep everybody accountable, and let's set some targets, let's use a dynamometer, let's see what your strength's like, let's retest you, and let's really push you on, so that actually at the end of the day we probably do ourselves out of a job because you don't come back again, which is a bit crazy, but you know, that's what it's all about, getting people back to better, or you know, even better than they first hoped.
And I think that is the big point there. It's that obviously, yes, from a business point of view, we want people coming back, but ultimately I think the reason we all went into physio was to try and get people better. And I think obviously the best stories are the ones that have a happy ending. I mean, at the end of the day, there's going to be ups and downs with everything, but I do think I always like to say to people that we're trying to guarantee as best as we possibly can that you're going to go away and you can do whatever it is that you're wanting to do. I try not to sort of have any questions about that. I don't like letting people sort of go off and, you know, just see how you do sort of thing, because there's so many things in life that can come across, and you end up either in the same place you were or a different injury. And I think it just having that facility there to be able to do that all round stuff, I think that it just gives us that more confidence in being able to say to people, yeah, you go off and just enjoy what you do.
And I think another key thing as well with the barn is that we really wanted it to be a place where, these two are probably too old to remember, too young, sorry, to remember this programme. You'll all remember it, Cheers, that was on TV. There's that kind of idea that go to a place where everybody knows your name, and that's kind of what we want it to be, that it's welcoming for everybody, whether you are, you know, you're used to going to a gym, whether you've never been before, whether you've had some big surgery and you want to get active again and you don't know what to do. The benefit with the rehab barn is that you've got medical professionals there that understand injury, we understand pathology, we understand healing times, we understand how to push you just enough to get you where you need to be without making things worse. And people say that a lot too, as well, I'm scared to do X, Y, Z because I don't want to make it worse. And actually you can do a lot more than you think you can, but you just need to be shown the way. So it doesn't matter whether you've had, you know, your hip replaced, or you've had some bowel surgery, or you've just had a baby and you want to bring your baby along. Like literally everybody's welcome, and we're going to try and cater for all different ages and abilities. And I think, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, I forget, it's my age, but we wanted this walking group thing, and that was a real thing for our community, just trying to involve everybody and make it a bit of a hub where people can do some exercise in a sort of supportive environment, where we can then all have a cup of tea and a biscuit afterwards, and you know, get to know people a little bit more.
And I think that ultimately the only people this isn't really appropriate for is someone in an incredible amount of pain.
And then they need here.
Yeah, and ultimately I think I could probably wangle a way around getting them into the gym as well at some point, because there's always something you can work on. But I think, the reason that I was so excited about it was because it just opens up so many opportunities there as well from that point of view. I'll just see if I do have original thoughts, but I thought I'd write some down just to make sure I didn't miss anything out.
Do we jump onto Freya and you can have a think if there's anything while she's doing a bit about the Pilates, or have you covered it?
To be honest, I think we've pretty much covered everything there. That was what I was going to say, and you touched on that a little bit as well. The fact that there's always going to be a physio there, I think it just means that, unlike other gym scenarios where it's just like you surrounded by a load of other people who may or may not know what they're doing. I mean, a lot of people know what they're doing, but I think equally, I wouldn't look around to check on form and things and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think it's just that, as we were saying, everyone knows you. We're going to try and set it up so that there's limited numbers at a time as well, because the idea will be at some point it will be free to sort of book in for slots. Whether you come in for physio, whether you just want to use a barn.
Yeah, I think a lot of you that are watching this that are local, you know, you'll probably remember Rishford Sports Club, when people could go there and could do the exercise. It was quite popular, and then when it closed, it kind of left this bit of a hole locally. And I think we're trying to plug that a little bit, fill that hole where Yes, a lot of the people that use it will have been our patients and we'll have directed them to it, but we are quite happy for people who've never been to us before to also use the facility. We'd have to meet with them first, and like you do in any gym, you know, get to know you and sort of guide you a little bit. But then, yeah, the aim is that if we're working with somebody on a Friday morning and you want to come and repeat your exercises, well, you'll be able to book in. That's the idea, isn't it? That you'll be able to book in and you know, come and do your own thing whilst we're in the building with you. So not directly supervised, but you know, in the building. So lots of options, lots of membership packages we're looking at as well, where people can sort of, you know, do subscription, come and use it 2-3 times a week, whatever they want to do. So it's early stages, and what I would say is just, if you don't already, then make sure you like the Instagram page or the Facebook page, just so that you get updates, and probably keep checking in on the website. We've been writing it the other day, weren't we, sort of writing a copy for the new pages on the website, so it really is in its infancy. But what I would say is that the plan is that it's going to be this summer when it's open, so we're not that far off actually. It's only a couple of months. It's just sort of finalising all the details.
Cool.
Freya. So Freya, has been doing all her Pilates, APPI Pilates training, and Freya's going to be the one who's heading up all our Pilates services. So yeah, be nice to it's the first time doing a live for us. So Freya's going to fill us in on what she's got planned in store for you all.
Yes, so kind of just go to the basics of what is Pilates. So it is an exercise form of exercise, doing exercise. You're really developing your core, your back, your hips, your shoulder, and it really creates this stable base for you to be able to kind of improve with your posture, muscle tone, and like your flexibility. So we were kind of sat down and put our heads together to think, how can we be separate from the rest of them, and especially kind of in the village, because there are quite a few around. So we will be offering them one-to-ones, and we already are offering one-to-ones here at the clinic. So they're an hour appointment. Your first one is kind of like an assessment, and I'll just see what you can, can't do, what your pain tolerance is like. And then in your next session, it'll be an hour again, and sometimes I might feel, oh, you need a bit of hands-on treatment, so I might do a bit of massage, a bit of mobilisations, and then we'll get into the Pilates that are really exercises that are tailored to you. And then when we go to the barn, we're going to be doing really small, intimate classes. So it'll just be me and potentially someone else who's just wandering around the classes, and that's why I think we're so niche with it, because like both Mackenzie and Charlotte said, that we are medical professionals, so we can really tailor each exercise to you and your needs, and we know the healing time and etc., what they've all said. And then if you are someone who might be a bit scared of going to classes, scared of going to new environments, but just can't make the classes, we are going to be doing live streamed as well. So you'll just have access to a video of me, and we'll just go through Pilates together, and you can just do it in the comfort of your own home. Again, what's really nice about the barn, we are trying to create this kind of community environment, a bit of like a family. Obviously everyone will all know us, and if you don't know us and you're booking for Pilates, I will be calling you, or even if you don't want to call, we can text, just to see what your goals are, what your preferences are, and just so you can get to know me and me as a Pilates instructor as well. So yeah, we'll be, as well, with being up in the rehab gym, we'll be hands-on, so I won't just be stood in the front of the class telling you what exercises to do. If you need some hands-on, if you need some kind of proprioception, as we call it, just to feel where things are and how things should feel, I will be doing that as well. So it's kind of a nice community, intimate class that we'll be doing. You don't need to bring anything, just yourself. We'll have all the equipment for you, mats, and all the other equipment. A big thing for us is safety as well, so we're trying to promote it to everybody, whether you're new to Pilates, whether you've done it for years. We kind of cater into everyone, and I've had quite a few people say to me, I really want to do it, but I'm a bit frightened to get onto the floor if I can't get back up. We are trained to kind of help you with that. We can help assist, get you off the floor. We have techniques for that. You don't have to get on the floor, you can go onto a chair, you can do it in standing, we have loads of options for you. as well as just the safety of it all. You know, if you've got a niggle, we won't push you too hard, but we will push you where we think you can go as well. And another question I've had asked is, do I need to be pain-free? And you don't, which is the beauty of it. As like we've mentioned before, we can tailor all the exercises to you. If you say to me that is so painful I can't do it, then we'll scale it back, we'll regress it, or we'll go to something else. Even in a class, which is really good because it's small. It's not just for women. So we are encouraging men to come around, and I know I've practiced with Mackenzie a couple of times.
It's a sight to behold.
Quite a harrowing experience actually. But I would recommend it.
So it is for everyone, and Pilates isn't easy, and some people, there is this myth of, oh, it's easy, you're just kind of moving around. It's not. You are working the deepest muscles in your body that you probably do miss in the gym. So yeah, that's a bit about the Pilates.
And I think it complements what the strength and conditioning stuff as well. So unless you've got that sort of, we call it core strength, but that sort of control of your body, if you start, doing some, I don't know, barbell snatches or something overhead, and you can't control your trunk and your torso, well then, you're going to end up with a problem, aren't you? So it kind of all marries up quite nicely. And what we're planning to do, again, it's early stages of, but because Freya's going to be doing live stream, and because she's already working on a bank of pre-filmed videos, Pilates videos, we'll be probably setting up a subscription service where, again, if you just want to do it online, that's fine as well. Or if you're on holiday and you want to sort of, not miss your class or something, well, you'll be able to sort of, join it from wherever you are. So there's going to be a few options with the Pilates, a few sort of online options, in-person options, one-to-one options, really something for everybody, really. So anything else we've got to say about the barn?
Other than I'm possibly more excited than patients are going to be. But I think, quite honestly, I like to think that enthusiasm transfers to everyone who comes in as well. Because I think with that facility there, it just, as I've said over and over again today, but it just opens up so many options. And I think prior to that, our sort of treatment journey, our experience with patients seemed to come to an end when they were off doing some gym stuff, and now it's like, okay, well, we can expand on that.
Do more stuff.
And I think it would be really, really beneficial. Yeah,
perfect. So we did have a couple of questions as well that were submitted, so I'll go with the first one. From a lady who has sprained her ankle and basically wanted to know whether the K-laser would be useful for that injury. And we get asked a lot. We use the K-laser a lot, and we're one of the only clinics in the north of England with it. In fact, we've got two, just bragging. But I thought I'd just answer what it does, because everyone asks, they all want to know, and I'll try and simplify it as much as I can, because there is a lot of science behind it. But basically, it sort of speeds up our cells' ability to use oxygen and nutrients from food and turn it into energy. So human body, adult body, on average about 32 trillion cells, and each one of those cells has got its own little power supply, the mitochondria, and it's the mitochondria that produce a substance called ATP, which is a bit like petrol to a petrol car. It's what drives the cell, it's what provides the energy for a cell. And when you've sprained your ankle or you've got an injury, those cells, whether it's the skin, whether it's the muscle or the ligament or anything, even the bone if you fractured it, all those cells are just suboptimal. They're just not working properly because there's disease or pathology present. And what the laser does is it basically speeds up the metabolism of the cell, at the cellular level, to be able to recover quicker. So it speeds up healing, is it in a nutshell. And people go, well, it's just light, how does it work? Well, let me tell you, I'm going on my holidays, I'm fingers crossed, because it's cloudy at the minute in the Canaries, but it's going to be sunny when I'm there, and I can guarantee that when I come back, my skin's going to be a different colour than it is at the moment. And the only thing that's happened is that I've exposed myself to light from the sun. And it's the same kind of principle in that human tissue reacts with certain wavelengths of light. Now obviously from the sun you've got the more dangerous stuff, the UVA, UVB, there's none of that in the K-laser. If you've seen any pictures of it, it's red in colour, so it's the visible red and the near infrared part of the spectrum, it's the safe spectrum. but we know that that interacts with, and I won't bore you with it, but it interacts with certain chemicals and certain substances within our cells and just allows that production of ATP. So for the person that messaged in with the ankle sprain, what you'd see using it, we see it quite quickly, people respond quite quickly, is the swelling will go down, the bruising will go down, the pain will reduce, and then obviously tissue times, the ligament sprain is about 12 weeks for recovery, but it means that we can start getting the ankle moving, we can start loading it, we can start doing exercises with it if we can get that healing process going. What's important though, it's not a silver bullet and it's not a one trick pony. It needs a course of it, because it's not just like, it's not waving a magic wand and fixing it. What it's doing is it's just optimising the natural healing process of the cells. So really, when we first see someone with it, it needs to be 2 or 3 times a week for a couple of weeks, because after about 48, 72 hours, the cell activity sort of winds down again. So we need to give it another big kick up the backside to get it going again. But generally, a lot of people are quite a lot better after the first go, but generally after about 2 weeks of those 4 to 6 treatments, it's loads better, and then it's a case of right, let's get you going and let's sort of see you through the rest of that 12-week journey. So there isn't really anybody who it's not suitable for, because if you can go out in the sun, you can have laser, it's just light. The only people that we'd be very, very cautious and probably wouldn't do it would be if we know somebody's got cancer, because we don't want to be speeding those cells up. They want to do different management, and probably somebody who's pregnant as well, because obviously you've got a rapidly dividing cells in the fetus and we don't want to be interfering with that. But anybody else, it doesn't matter if you've got pins in your knee or plates or metalwork, because it just reflects the light, it doesn't have any impact. And although you do get some warming, it has a warming effect. It's more than that. It's about the cellular activity that it's driving up. So it genuinely is for everybody. We've treated people who've had fractures with it, who've had really nasty surgical incisions, because it heals the skin as well. So scars quite often appear, they heal quick and they look better, don't they, quite quickly. So to answer her question, yes, it would be suitable, and it is suitable for most people, which is why we use it quite a lot. So yeah, that was my question that I had. Next question.
Yes, it's not so much a question as much of a patient experience, and I thought it'd just be valuable to share it basically. So this was a couple of weeks ago. Individual came in, said had shoulder pain for a long time. They tried shoulder exercises, they tried all the usual type of stuff, and just weren't finding that it was settling down. Tends to be worse if they've been sat for a long time, and usually after they've been working. This is a person who's working from home, desk based, so it's more sort of computer based working, that kind of thing. And then intermittent periods of pins and needles down that same arm, pretty much the whole arm. And so what they were saying was the only real way of getting that to settle down was to stretch the arm out, so to sort of stretch upwards or stretch outwards, and that seemed to be improving things. So the reason I thought I'd share this is just because it's a reasonably common one to come up. A lot of the time people are coming in and thinking, I've got a shoulder problem, so we want to address the shoulder, that kind of thing. And so I had a look at the shoulder, wasn't really anything standing out, nothing painful to touch or anything like that. But then when we had a little bit more of a look at the neck, and I won't bore you with the specific tests that we did, but basically we looked at the neck and found that actually in certain positions that would provoke a similar pain down the arm and into the shoulder and shoulder blade. So this was more just to raise a bit of an awareness that actually sometimes even pains that are in the shoulder region or the arm region might be coming from higher up. In this scenario, I'm pretty confident that it was coming from the neck, and it was likely something we call cervical radicular type pain. There was no power loss and sensation was all there, so it wasn't like they couldn't feel me touching their arm. So it was more just pain rather than there being anything severe. But it's one of those things where if you're just focusing on treating a shoulder, it's not actually going to change that much. Yes, there's shoulder stuff involved in it, but actually to get to the root of that problem, we had to treat more around the neck. So that involved a little bit of K-laser, a little bit of hands-on treatment, so massage, a little bit of manipulation around the joints there, and then it was mainly postural work, strengthening up the deep flex of the neck, all these chin tuck things, chicken exercise.
We've got some videos on that.
Yeah, we have.
Doing those on Instagram, and check it out.
Yeah, give them a watch. Excellent model. And then, as I said, a little bit of shoulder work as well, but we've got to get the right type of stuff. It's got to be that retraction type work. getting the posterior cuff involved, and I think probably 3 or 4 sessions and we're feeling a lot better. But perfect one for the barn, I think, to be honest, because then if we're looking at, okay, well, why has that come about? Probably postures while they're sitting and working, that type of thing. And I mean, there isn't a bad posture, but anything that you're in for a long time is going to become problematic. So then I'll be saying, okay, well, let's work on your shoulder strength, let's work on your neck strength even more in the barn. So there you go, a little plug for the barn there, basically. And I've been in there here about it as well, so there you go. It's
Great stuff. I think with anything neck based, when anyone comes with a shoulder problem but they're getting symptoms sort of elbow or below, I'm always really suspicious, because generally the shoulder will refer quite locally to the shoulder itself, and anything with people say, oh, it's coming down, I'm feeling it a bit in my forearm, I'm like, not sure that's a shoulder thing. So and that's where sometimes depending on what experiences people have, oh no, physio didn't work, or maybe it was looking at the wrong area, or maybe to link. Sometimes we like look the joint above and below, don't we, generally, to sort of see, because it can dance around a little bit. So I think, you didn't have any questions that came through, did you? No, don't ask me anything else. So that's really all that we wanted to say, I suppose, mainly about the barn and what's coming up, and just keep watching, keep followers, sharers, whatever you can do. The whole idea is it's going to be a bit of a community hub that obviously our patients can benefit from, but kind of wider than that. You don't need to have been a patient, just if you want to get fitter, stronger, and you want to do so in a safe environment with us on hand, then it's suitable for you, really. I will be, on the website, I'll be setting up a bit of a find out more information thing where you can kind of put your details in, and then when we sort of start to release some newsletters about it, you can sign up to that. That'll be probably by the end of this month, that'll be on there. But probably the best way to do it is just follow the social media, and we'll keep popping stuff on there, won't we, as it all progresses through. So that's us. Hope I'm not taking too much of your time, half an hour. Thank you for watching, if there's anybody there, and we will do another one of these, if you can all bear it, later on. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.